So it's official, people. Glen Kamara has officially been announced by QPR as a QPR player on a season-long loan from Rennes. Obviously, Julian Stefan knows him very well after bringing him in for to Rennes a couple of seasons ago when he was in charge there. It looks like he highly rates the player very much to bring him into QPR as well. He brings a lot of depth and quality as well as experience into the club back home in West London. So he should be happy with that. Don't know why, like I said, don't know why it took so long to get this over the line. You know, we've got a couple of weeks left technically, but the main reason I was more concerned is obviously we got Millwall on the weekend. Is he going to play? Is he not ready? Has he had a preseason with Rennes? I'm not too sure. So obviously fitness checks will be done on him, obviously. You know, clearly there's a reason why we brought him in, and I think it's more to do with not just depth, not just playing style on how he is and how Julian wants players in there. I think it's also because of injuries. You know, we have a lot of injuries last season midfield, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have more this season. You know, at the end of the day, Glen Kamara has a great CV from Arsenal as a youth player, moving to obviously Rangers after his 2 loan spells in lower divisions, having a successful career at Rangers, and then obviously moving to Leeds, where he obviously played 37 appearances with Leeds in that season where they reached the playoff final, but unfortunately Daniel Farke just couldn't get them into the Premier League that season. They did end up losing to QPR at home 4-0, and Kamara did play at Loftus Road, so that was one of the things he did say in his video today, where what he experienced and everything like that. You know, the type of player he is pretty much a deep line playmaker, box-to-box midfielder. You know, he's very decent on the ball, very good at controlling the ball, controlling the game, passing. He's admitted to being that passing-paced football that he likes. He is a guy that can dribble around players. He has a good flair to him, and he does like to get into the box, not just to score goals, but to push us from one side of the pitch to the other. You know, he likes to get the ball from our half into the opposition half, and yeah, he's pretty decent. I wouldn't call him a defensive midfielder. You know, he can win the ball, but obviously not much. Far as I can say, with Rennes last season, he's not had a successful time there, and you know, he needs a fresh start at the end of the day. And it's great to have him at Loftus Road and to see what he does. You know, he's going to work well, hopefully, with Madsen. But like I said, the other thing is with injuries. You know, I think he was also brought in with injuries as well. You know, Madsen's injured at the moment. Is he going to be out for a while? And yeah, you know, the likely chances are there's talks of us bringing another midfielder in, but nothing's been announced yet. But obviously, I don't think we're finished in the transfer window, personally. But Glen Kamara obviously is going to be a great, hopefully, signing, not just for us on the field, but off the field as well. You know, there is a couple of youngsters that will look up to him for sure, and obviously, hopefully, learn under him. You know, and yeah, it's just very interesting because obviously with pre-season how it's been, you know, the type of midfield that we're doing. It looks like we're not looking at really much of a defensive midfielder. We're looking more at 2 box-to-box midfielders that can help the attack as well as drop back and do what they need to do to get that ball back and push it into midfield again. You know, I highly rate what Julian's doing at QPR. The signings are pretty much his signings now, and I'm happy with that. You know, we've worked well on the striking force last season, which was out of this world. Don't think we need to touch that unless something does happen at the end. But our main thing this season has been defense and midfield. So I think the defense, maybe one more signing will do, and in midfield another signing as well there. But as far as I'm concerned, I feel like central midfield is pretty much looking good right now. So I'm happy with that. Glen Kamara has got that CV as well on him, where he has played Champions League football, European football, so that brings a lot of class to the club as well. And yeah, we don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season. We'll see what happens. If he has a good season and gets bought, I don't know. He's a 30-year-old midfielder. Is he going to be the same midfielder as he was with Leeds? Not too sure, but we will find out in a couple of weeks. We will. So yeah. Apart from that, let us know what you think of the signing of Glen Kamara, if it's good or bad, and what you think is going to happen for the rest of the season with him. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to see him real soon on that pitch. But apart from that, peace, love, positivity as always, and we'll catch you next time. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to. See you in a bit, people.